The Mississippi River Headwaters Watershed is located in northern Minnesota. Governing entities play an important role in monitoring pollution, regulating agriculture and business, and maintaining parks and forests in the area. Opportunities for invention may happen between the Mississippi Headwaters Board, Leech Lake Reservation tribal leaders and members, private residents, and the Parks and Recreation Board. Tens of thousands of years ago, the Wisconsin period ice lobes moved across the area, leaving behind sand and gravel aquifers. This region was once home to the Ojibwe and Anishinaabe people. Most of the land was natural forest, some prairie wetlands, and of course, lakes and rivers. Sometime after 1850, the Anishinaabe land was reduced and fragmented to Leech Lake Reservation. Beyond that, the logging industry took over, destroying sacred land in the process. Though a lot of the land is still forested, the forests and parks are now managed by the DNR, both at the state and federal level. The Chippewa National Forest covers most of this watershed. Today, the watershed is much more developed. Major highways, a railway, and an airport transport goods to and through the city of Bemidji. The area is also a tourist attraction. Finally, the old Line 3 pipeline cuts through this watershed beneath major bodies of water in the Mississippi River. While the new pipeline mainly avoids these bodies of water, it still leaves the old infrastructure behind. Lake Bemidji is used primarily for recreational activities and is surrounded by forest, urban development, and sparse cropland. In the winter, people travel to the region to ice fish. Meanwhile, salt covers roads and highways. In the spring, that salt is melted and contaminates the lake. Salinated water threatens aquatic life and is extremely difficult to remove. The tourist season picks up midsummer. 26% of visitors come to explore nearby state parks, and many of them participate in fishing. With increased tourism brings revenue. However, increased traffic also increases pollutants due to metals and rainwater runoff from roads. In the fall, tourism dies down, but the infrastructure remains. Changes in the weather create changes in aquatic life and vegetation. Lake Bemidji is impaired due to high levels of mercury detected in the fish. However, like many lakes in the upper third of Minnesota, this and the surrounding bodies of water are still considered relatively clean. The greatest concern for this watershed is reducing contamination and maintaining the health of the Mississippi River at its source. Territorially, the watershed has a complex history. Colonization has left a scar in the landscape and fractured Ojibwe and Anishinaabe communities. Line 3 is moving out of the Leech Lake Reservation, but its impacts remain. These relationships are critical for the future environmental and social well-being of human and non-human organisms in this watershed. What does an environmentally beneficial urban development look like? Is it possible? What regulations would it challenge? And how does it blend or distinguish itself from the current pattern of land use in the area? What would it mean to reestablish native land in this watershed? Where does change begin?